York is a magnet for visitors, some of them from far-off countries. They come to see its famous landmarks and fill their photograph albums with wonders from the New World. But many of them are here for other reasons too.
My name is Mahmoud Ahmed. I am fascinated by your city with its many bridges linking it with the rest of the United States. So different from where I came.
And where is your home?
It's very far away in a place called... I'm studying now at Columbia University, working for a doctorate in counseling psychology.
Counseling psychology? How does this explain your interest in bridges?
Kuwait, to assist in its rapidly expanding educational programs. Therefore, I like to think of myself as a kind of bridge.
I'm Abdul Latif Al-Hamad, studying international affairs here at Harvard.
And what brings you here to the Fog Museum?
Well, art is really international. I enjoy Japanese painting as much as I enjoy other forms of art.
And will you be returning to Kuwait?
As soon as I finish my studies, I shall go to Kuwait and possibly enter the government service.
My name is Karaf Ahmed Karaf. I'm studying in the University of New Hampshire.
And will you be returning to Kuwait when you complete your studies?
Oh, yes. My country has a great need for engineers.
And here it is, Kuwait, the place you've been hearing about. The place that's growing so fast that by the time you see these pictures, the skyline will have changed again. Let's take a close-up on Kuwait. First of all, let's see where we are. Picture yourself high above the Middle East, that sprawling area that stretches from the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean. Once it was all the known world, and at its center the plain of the two great rivers, Tigris and Euphrates, the cradle of Western civilization. Just to the south lies the Bay of Kuwait, and around it, etched out of the great Arabian desert, is the state of Kuwait, a country the size of New Jersey, with a population of Rochester, New York. A country with only one city, few townships, no railroads, and 6,000 square miles of desert. But underneath the sand lies treasure, the greatest treasure known to the modern age. This little country of Kuwait ranks fourth in the world among the oil-producing nations, surpassed only by the United States, by Venezuela, and the Soviet Union. From the two great piers at Mina al-Ahmadi sail more tankers than from any other of the world's oil ports. 3,000 sailings a year, nearly 10 a day, to Europe and Asia, Africa and America, Australia and the Far East. 3,000 sailings and 80 million tons of oil. And the riches from all these far distances come back to Kuwait in manufactured goods. Motor cars and razor blades, aircraft and chocolates, furniture and tennis rackets, frozen foods and feather dusters, cameras and candelabra, microscopes and magazines, timber, steel, and string. In these streets, you will find the Arab shrewdness of bazaar and marketplace. But you will also find the telephone and the cable bringing in business information from the whole industrial world.
بخصوص البرنجات اللي وصيتوا عليهم فيشر ب 209 موجود عندنا منهم 22 السعر 17 دير.
رايك شو سي اي او في بي اي
اللي بدك اياه ايش بدك اياه؟
كيف كذا معامله
بدنا نعطي الارق اذا كان بالاسعار هذه سي اي اف.
سي اي اف
نعم.
But I think the American article is much better than what you mentioned.
Oh no, we produce the best there is in the field.
Who say what proof you have got? It's the best.
Well, we've marketed it in Saudi Arabia and in Bahrain, everywhere.
Good, we will buy it here in Kuwait also, but I think it's not so good.
Well, no.
Because we always in Kuwait like good articles from England or from Germany, any country in the world.
Only the best is good enough, and the merchants here can display to their critical customers nearly all that money can buy. Kuwait today is cantilevered and air-conditioned. Its meeting place, the soda fountain. Its symbol of prestige, the high-powered automobile. Look more closely and you will find another side to Kuwait. For this is a sovereign state, ruled over by the seventh of his family's line, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah Al-Salim Al-Sabah, who governs his fast-developing country with an inherited understanding of his peoples, inherited from civilizations that were old when Greece and Rome were young. The ruler and his Council of State have made their country modern, but their way of government is Arab, based on the traditions of the family and on the Muslim faith. With these go a responsibility for the people's happiness, their welfare, and their health. Kuwaitis can take their medicine in any of 21 state clinics, part of a free medical service, with hospitals and equipment that rival any in the world. But medicine is far more than money and buildings and the latest equipment. It's the quality of the doctors and nurses that is the backbone of any medical service. And Kuwait has attracted the best from all over the world to serve its people with a sense of humor and humanity. The future of Kuwait, as of any quickly growing country, belongs to the young, and the government has made itself responsible for their education. When these children grow up, they will know that they have the good fortune to be young and vigorous in a country that is young and vigorous too. Every day to more than 100 schools come 40,000 children, or maybe one or two more.
5 تساوي 9 على 15 لأننا ضربنا البسط والمقام في 3.
40,000 school children at school every day means 40,000 healthy appetites. And even after the squarest meal, there's always little Oliver Twist who asks for more. The children's food problem is tackled with imagination. One huge central kitchen in the middle of the city provides midday meals for the pupils of over 50 schools. These children are sleeping the easy sleep of the fortunate. But not all the children of Kuwait start with their advantages. This place is called Mahad Anur, the House of Light. Here the deaf may learn to speak. The blind to read and write.
في وسط السطر تبدأ تترك خانتين 3 أو 4 من أول سطر وتبدأ كلمة الطائرة.
Then Columbus and his sailors went further into the island. They were surprised at the thick trees and the rich plants which covered.
The blind housewife must learn to do the shopping by the subtleties of shape and texture. Today, these boys are Kuwait's responsibility. In a few years, Kuwait will be theirs. Take young Khalid here, a normal, healthy 8-year-old. His father is an artisan, and who knows what Khalid may become. His schoolmaster is a foreigner, an Arab from a neighboring state. For while Khalid and his generation are growing up, there will be many foreigners in Kuwait. In the years since the first oil drillings, Kuwait has welcomed people of many nationalities to help her development. The necessary qualification is skill, engineering, scientific, or administrative. The skills that have enabled this small country to make her wealth productive. The foreigners have brought their own way of life. They are free to worship as they please. They've brought their wives and their wives' necessities, their children and their children's pets, their own culture, their incomprehensible enthusiasms, their passion for gardening, and above all, their patient ability to teach.
Mane-bearing cat. Hava piston. Hava connecting rod.
And the people of Kuwait have matched it with their own ability to learn, and to learn quickly. Pupils in Kuwaiti schools and technical colleges, and pupils far away in the centers of learning of Europe, America, and the Arab world. A whole generation of Kuwaitis are learning their way about a completely new field of knowledge. A world of circuits, systems, frequencies, reactors, bloodstreams, power curves, wingtip vortices. The things all of us have to learn today. Once the Arabs were the teachers of the world, its outstanding chemists, doctors, geographers. Here in the quiet of libraries and in the cut and thrust of argument, the same urgent spirit of inquiry is born again. Today, the city gates no longer open on the desert. For eager young Kuwait, tomorrow is high adventure. But for many years yet, the material springboard of that adventure will be oil. Today, much of the energy and resources of Kuwait is needed to keep the oil industry constantly supplied with the technical facilities, the equipment, and the manpower it needs.
Hello? Oh, hello, Arthur. How are you? You're short of pipes? Oh, okay, I'll send you. How many? 40 numbers, 3-inch. Okay.
Last year, $20 million worth of orders were placed by the oil industry in the town, and the resources of Kuwait have had to be equal to it. To swell the labor force, thousands of workers come from the neighboring countries to join the ranks of Kuwaitis in regular employment. But a far-sighted government wants to be sure that the whole country will benefit from the great wave of prosperity that oil has brought. So they've set up a government development board which studies the needs of the country and tackles them with imagination and vigor and a willingness to try out new ideas. These are some of the facts they have to cope with. First of all, Kuwait is a country of desert. Without help, very little grows. Sometimes in the summer, nature can be seen at its most unrelenting. The wind from the north, the shamal, can blow the fine dry sand at storm force. But nature has a way of evening things out, for below the sand, the oil reservoirs contain vast quantities of natural gas. As a source of energy, natural gas is invaluable. It generates electricity for Kuwait's industries. It distills millions of gallons of seawater daily to supply this arid country's greatest need, fresh water. Fresh water has also been discovered underground. And now, even the nomadic Bedou tribesmen in their isolated tents are supplied with fresh water by tanker lorry. And where there is enough water, miracles can happen. Miracles like this. This is the government experimental farm. It covers 100 acres, and it's one of the most significant projects in the world today. For the world is very short of food. 2/3 of the human race is undernourished. One of the answers is to conquer the deserts of the earth. Here in Kuwait, the desert is beginning to yield. They are proving that, properly cared for, livestock from Europe can live and thrive in temperatures of nearly 130 degrees. They are proving that with enough water and a lot of science, the desert can be turned into soil and bear fruit. experimenting with hydroponics, a method that requires no soil at all. Vegetables are planted in gravel or vermiculite and fed with chemicals dissolved in water. The water is then drained off and used again. The 100 acres of the experimental farm are only a beginning. But in the end, the wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. In Kuwait, the worship of Islam lies firm, like a bedrock on which to build a new way of life. And with the belief go the traditions that belong to the Muslim world. One of these traditions is the Majlis. Through the Majlis, every citizen with a petition or with a grievance against his neighbor or the state has the right of direct access to his rulers. How many of us in the West can do the same? Access to the government, equality before the law. These are assured to every citizen of Kuwait. There you have a close-up on Kuwait, bustling and vigorous, cosmopolitan and friendly. And in the middle of the hubbub, the Kuwaitis themselves, accepting progress, but valuing tradition and striking a balance between the two. Favored by nature, yet not content to rest on nature's gifts. Fashioning the wilderness, molding the desert, changing themselves. And these youngsters they've taken so much thought for. What lies ahead for them? One thing is sure, to whatever they turn their heads and hands, they'll bring those qualities of enterprise and level-headedness that have made this state of Kuwait a state of excitement, here at the heart of the Arab world.